currently feeding an adult 8-year-old Feist mix and a 5-month-old lab puppy, and there are quite a few differences in this raw feeding process, or in the respective raw feeding recipes, you could say. So this one right here is Pepper, my 5-month-old lab, and then this is her raw dog food. I make that one myself. And this is my 8-year-old Feist mix, and that's his homemade raw dog food. So the main differences are, first of all, the fact that the amounts differ drastically. So Wally is entering his senior dog years, and he's currently fed at a 2% maintenance percentage. That means he's fed 2% in raw dog food off his body weight. And for Pepper here, she, as you can tell, gets a whole lot more raw dog food than Wally does. That's simply due to the fact that she is still growing and she needs a lot of energy during her growth phase. So she is currently fed at a maintenance percentage of 8% of her current body weight. So that means that she is fed 8% in raw dog food per day of what she currently weighs. In raw feeding, there's a certain amount of different components that you feed. And so there's your secreting organs, so like the liver, the kidney, the spleen. There's non-secreting organs like lung and heart. There's muscle meat. You also have your raw meaty bones and your fish and your additional supplements like kelp that you would want to add unless you're feeding whole prey, which I do feed whole prey, but only about twice a month, so not on a regular basis. That wouldn't be enough iodine to cover their iodine needs, so that's why kelp is super important. Yeah, and then there's some green tripe in there. Fish is really important for the omega-3 fatty acids and to balance out the other fatty acid content of the other meats that I'm adding, because there's usually more omega-6 fatty acids in poultry and ruminants that you're feeding. All right, Wally, come over here. Sit. Good. Okay, puppies, go eat. So they know where to eat. Wally eats over here by the wall, and then Pepper eats over there. So the raw meaty bones that Pepper's eating currently this week are chicken necks. And Wally is eating rabbit legs, and he has a rabbit hindquarter there. Stay here with that, thank you. So with his raw meaty bone allowance, I don't always weigh it out exactly as far as how much he needs per day, but I usually give him a raw meaty bone that covers his bone allowance for like 2 or 3 days. So that means that after this hindquarter, he's not going to need any raw meaty bone. Definitely not tomorrow. He's going to get more raw meaty bone the day after that. You can calculate that using a specific formula. And I can share the link to my blog post where I explain that. And you can also certainly take a look at your dog's poop and look at that consistency. So if it's very firm, and if it's like white and crumbly, you're feeding too much bone. So you want to reduce the bone amount. It should just have like a normal firm-ish consistency, but not be overly dry. Yep, and I'm gonna have to come up with a different slow feeder for her. So this was fine for like the first 6 weeks, I'd say, of her living with me. But this isn't, like, it stopped really slowing her down. As you can see, she inhaled that in no time. So I'll have to figure something else out for her. And so Wally usually eats his raw dog food out of the slow feed insert, but the bone was just way too large to fit into that. So I removed it. So yeah, just wanted to give you a little comparative look into the raw dog food bowls of Wally and Pepper. That's right, that's your name.